is all we got. You know what I'm talking about? The greatest opportunity in the world is found in today. You understand that? We don't even know what yesterday got for us. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's already gone. Tomorrow too far away. What about right now?
Let's go, Ravens. Let's go, Ravens. Let's go, Ravens. Let's go, Ravens. We all want fly.
Follow me. I'm on this man.
We all want fly. Ravens dark wings. Yeah, we take the flight. Then we dive on in and show all my might. Man, this is Ravens pride. We want that Super Bowl. Check out this next drive. Cruise control. We got the passing game. Open and running lanes. Leave you running in place. Doing the running main. Do it for Baltimore. Win it for Maryland. Get in the end zone. They gon' do your dance. R-A-V-E-N-S-R. A-V-E-N-S-R. A-V-E-N-S-R. Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens. We all one flock. We all one flock. We all one flock. We all one flock. It's that black and white, purple and gold. See these ain't just colors, they are part of our souls. It's a part of our goal. Number one in the polls. First place AFC. Keep these teams on their toes. Defense, that was championships. You fumbling the ball. Now ain't that a bliss? The flock y'all mean, flock what you heard. Flock out of here, you got some flocking nerve. We in the red zone, that's your dead zone. We can see all of y'all headstones. Boy, you dead wrong, Ravens headstrong. Calling plays from the headphones. You are just another step stone. Losing, get gone, yeah. You see our quarterback, you see our receivers. You see our tight ends, running backs, and our defense. The O-line and the special teams. Defeating y'all, now that's our specialty.
Ravens, here we go, one flock. Keep on grinding till we soar to the top. Come on, Ravens, here we go, one flock. Keep on grinding till we soar to the top. You see them yards, gon' get them. Them games gon' get them. About this something you should know. All that meal gon' curve it. That's how we gon' serve it. Coming in the Super Bowl. We take the finish one far. A-V-E-N-S-R. A-V-E-N-S-R. Let's go Ravens, let's go Ravens, let's go Ravens, let's go Ravens. We all one flock, we all one flock, we all one flock, we all one flock.
Everything out of me. They gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. Believe that.
Oh, that is what was happening. Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think you can hear me now. Welcome to 1Flock, the very first post-game show. Sorry we had some technical difficulties. Weren't able to jump on as soon as the clock hit 0. We'll have to do better with that. But my goodness, in the celebratory mood that I'm in right now, and I'm sure that Ravens Nation as a whole is, because when have we seen this kind of dominance in the history of the Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow era? Never has our defense held Cool Joe to 0 points. And it did not start out looking like that. When this game initially started, I was nervous. Were you? Because the slow start for our offense, literally on the Ravens' first 2 drives, we didn't have the ball, nor did we complete as many plays as the Bengals did on their very first drive. Literally over half the first quarter. I mean, you go back and watch it. Our first drive, we got 3-4 plays, maybe it was 6 plays. Nonetheless, it was quick. It was like 3 minutes and we were punting the ball. Then we watched the Bengals methodically march down the field for 8.5 minutes. 8.5 minutes. They were in scoring range. And then the defense showed up in a preview of what was going to become really the theme of this game. The Baltimore Ravens defense. Say what you want to about Zach Orr. I've told you guys, I think the brother deserves patience because he's not even completed 2 years as a defensive coordinator. And we saw what he was able to do last year in his very first year in turning that defense around. And what's happening this year? I mean, the defense showed up in this game. If you look at the progression of the defense as the season has progressed, that shows coaching to me. I don't know. You tell me in the comments what it means to you. But to me, I see a defense that is progressively getting better. And what else do you expect from a coaching staff other than to coach up these guys and get them playing cohesively? And that's what we saw. That stance. Welcome back, Tavius Robinson. First game back. Tavius with the big sack. Because remember, the Bengals were in scoring position. And remember, whoever scores first, that dictates a lot of how the rest of the game is played. And if we were playing on our heels after that, that could have caused a very different outcome. But we put the Bengals on their heels, and we only had that opportunity because after they had that 8.5 minute long drive, Tavius Robinson, like a 14-yard sack on Joe Burrow. And suddenly, Ravens got the ball back. They had to punt. They couldn't even get a field goal. We didn't do much with the offense after that. And this is where I was still getting concerned because all I saw was the O-line letting Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry get beat up as soon as the ball snapped. I want to say we might have gotten 2 minutes and we were punting the ball again on that second possession. It did not look good offensively in the first quarter. It did not. And I know Ravens across the nation were probably thinking, we're about to be in serious trouble because we can't score. We can't move the ball. But did you notice the change? Did you? Inspired ball. And this is why I talk about complementary football. The defense feeds off the offense feeds off the defense. And if they're both sucking, then you're screwed. But in this game, we finally saw some inspired play from the offense. And I want to take you back to this drive. Let me pull up our first scoring play because we didn't score until that touchdown in the second quarter. Because remember, the first quarter was lost on the offense. I want to say thank you. We got who is this right here? DT Horing. Thank you for being here. That's right. Go Ravens. All the purple and black hearts. All the purple and black hearts. I'm feeling the love right now. And getting back to the scoring, because I love scoring. Don't you guys love it when we score? Don't you love it when Lamar Jackson has over a 100 passer rating as he had in this game? Haven't seen that in a while. I have Lamar Jackson on my fantasy football team. Most years I can't get him. I finally got him this year. And, of course, he gets injured, and then he had the 4 weeks where he was only putting up numbers we've never seen so low for Lamar Jackson. But today, over 100. I think he had a 114 passer rating. And this first touchdown pass to Ali. Ali got his first touchdown pass of the season. And this, Monken, good job. You opened up the playbook. You threw something at their defense they weren't expecting, and it worked. Lamar, 30-yard touchdown pass, and that thing was beautiful. And Ali took it in, and I noticed that on that drive, there wasn't a lot of running. Cincinnati was prepared for that. They've heard all week long, Ravens need to run, and the defense was shutting down the run. So in the second quarter, Monken opened up the passing yards, and we still kept the run integrated, but it was the passing. Did you see the 28-yard pass to Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers took a hit on that one, too. Woo! Anybody remember when Hollywood was here and we liked Hollywood because he was fast, but the big knock on Hollywood was he won't run across the middle. He won't take the big hits. What I'm loving about Zay Flowers' game, and we saw it in this game, is Zay Flowers does not run away from the smoke. Zay Flowers, he'll catch the ball and he'll take the hit. And that connection that he had for that big gain in that drive, it was good to see. Because what I saw, we bragged on the defense already, on how Zach Orr stepped up his coaching as the season's gone along. But within the game, we saw Monken change the offense. And we haven't necessarily always seen that type of reactive offense for the Baltimore Ravens. That was key in this game. Because what was a stagnant offense in the first quarter suddenly became one that was fluid, and we were getting all types of movement. That 30-yard touchdown pass to Ali, I didn't see that coming. Did you? With all those players on the field, you got D-Hop on the field, you got, Andrews on the field, you got Zay on the field. Who was thinking about Ali catching a 30-yard pass? I wasn't, and obviously neither was the defense. Well, now that it's on film, they'll be paying attention to it, but that just makes our offense that much more difficult to prepare for. And in this game, 14-0 at the half. Did you see that coming after that first quarter? But 14 points in the second half. That second score, and I'm going to pull it up right here. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we are absolutely not out of the woods. We're celebrating right now, and I got the Ravens cap on. I'm feeling good, but I'm not feeling good because we're out of the woods. I'm feeling good because what I saw in this game, particularly in the return of an efficient Lamar Jackson, a dominant performance by the defense, and better play calling by the offense in the second quarter and going on, there's optimism that we have reason to have now when you think about where this Baltimore Ravens team can go. Because honestly, a week ago, did anybody really have any faith that we could go on the road and beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, where we know it's going to be freezing cold? Freezing cold. Traditionally, the Ravens have not done well in cold games. You know it. I know it. Why has Buffalo dominated us in the playoffs? Because for some reason, temperature drops down below freezing and we can't hold on to the ball. We fumble, we turn the ball over. We don't execute. We make silly mistakes. It's like the lower the temperature got, the lower our football IQ became, but not today. And it was freezing cold out there. Freezing cold. But yet you saw the Ravens take care of the ball and you saw them execute in a manner that none of us were expecting to take place. I shouldn't say none of us were expecting to take place. We were expecting it, but we prepared for the traditional mess up. And that did not happen. We've got why can't I pull this up? Why can I not pull this up? Here we go. Got it now. So that second scoring opportunity that the Ravens took care of, this is what I'm talking about when I say we mixed it up. Monken was in his bag. He was in his bag. It started off Lamar Jackson hit Zay Flowers again for that 26-yard pass. And then Lamar, using those wheels, he averaged 13 yards a carry in this game. He only had 2 carries. He kept them honest. But Lamar had a run of 13 yards and a run of 14 yards. That's Lamar. But what I like about it is he didn't just keep going to it. We have a tendency sometimes to see this one-dimensional Ravens offense where, it becomes predictable what we're doing. Monken, when I say he was in his bag, he kept it mixed up. So as soon as Lamar hits that 12-yard run, you know what the defense does. They react. They respond. They start stacking the box. They start spying Lamar. And what did he do next? Straight to the pass. 14-yard pass completion to Andrews. There goes, okay, we can't pressure. Lamar's not running. He's throwing. the pressure on the defense that this put, and sure enough, the touchdown pass, 28 yards. Ah, my goodness, man. We won this game, and we won it in dominant fashion. I did not expect a 24-point blowout. Now, for the Bengals, they gotta be nervous right now. We did the Joe Burrow breakdown. If you haven't seen that episode already, you should go check it out. We talked about how his demeanor over the past week seemed to make it look like he might be checked out. Did this 0-point performance by the Bengals say anything about that? What are you guys thinking? Do you think that Lamar is ascending and Joe is descending? You think that Joe Burrow has mentally quit on the season, on the Bengals? Because a 0-point performance by Joe? No one was calling for that. I don't think we've seen that before. Not to my knowledge. A healthy Joe Burrow, especially in a game against the Ravens. Normally, this is where he shines. This is where he stacks up the points. But if it wasn't Joe that accounted for this, how much of it goes on just superlative play by the defense? Is our defense finally playing at what preseason folks were saying might be one of the greatest defenses the Ravens have put on the field? And that's saying a lot considering the defenses over the years that the Ed Reed, right? Ed Reed-esque secondaries, right? We haven't seen a secondary shut down a team with the type of offensive firepower that the Bengals have like this in a long time. The Ravens defense shut down a Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow-led offense. Has anybody else shut out the Bengals this year? I don't know if the Bengals have had a game where they were shut out. Let's look at that real quick. I don't believe so. I'm looking at their season right now. No. This is the first time they've been shut out all year. In fact, it might be interesting to find out when is the last time Joe Burrow suited up and the Bengals didn't score any points. I'd be curious to know that. Well, maybe someone in the chat can check that out. But this Ravens defense shut down a Bengals offense that hasn't been held to, well, the Broncos. The Broncos defense held them to a field goal, but that was, I'm not sure if Joe Burrow was playing in that game. But other than that singular game, they've scored double digits on everybody. You're talking about a Bengals, even in losses where they put up 42 points, 38 points, 31 points, 24 points. 0? Who was expecting that from this defense? Is it time to say that the Ravens defense is no longer concerned? Now, remember, we got two key defensive players back in this game. We got back, why am I blinking right now? Darius Washington. And then, of course, Tavius Robinson. I mean, he announced his return right away, as we already talked about. That 14-yard sack on Joe Burrow was what I call a momentum play. And from the time we grabbed the momentum, we didn't let go of it. We just kept going. All the way to this butt whooping. And yes, I'm going to call it what it is. I'm going to call it a butt whooping because we put this whooping on the Bengals. So the question becomes now, what about the offense? The defense, I don't have any questions about now. I'm feeling, I mean, you put 0 on Joe, defense is good. We can take the concern point off of that. On the offense, do I still have concerns? Well, yes. Number one, they still hitting Lamar. This O-line is still a problem. I mean, Lamar was sacked on both of the first two possessions. We got pinned. I think we were on the 9-yard line, our own 9-yard line, and they sacked Lamar. The protection for Lamar truly is, and I don't think many of you would disagree, the offensive line play and holding the pocket or not holding the pocket is the singular greatest problem on this Ravens team. If we could correct that, And I'm not saying that we can at this point. Obviously, there's only 3 games left in the season. But imagine if that were corrected. Would you have any real concerns about how far this team could go? Think about it. Every major problem that I've seen in this offense has come from plays not being able to develop because Lamar's running for his life as soon as the ball snaps. Lamar's getting sacked. Lamar's getting beat up. Lamar's injuries even have come from the offensive line failures. So, if this offensive line were not as inept as it has been at several points throughout the season, what kind of record would we be looking at? And not really thinking of it from a historical past tense angle, going forward. If this offensive line can get their act together and actually protect the quarterback, block for the running game, is the Cinderella story still possible for these Ravens? I believe it would be, because I don't see a defense that is suffering. I see a dominant defense. I don't see Derrick Henry not being able to run. He showed it today, 100-yard rushing game for Derrick Henry for the first time in a while. Lamar Jackson is mobile again, averaging 13 yards a carry. Derrick Henry averaged 9 yards a carry. Ali playing well. Andrews catching balls in the cold. Good job, Andrews. Didn't choke that one away. This offense is loaded with talent. But we've seen over and over again, if the offensive line cannot do their job and allow time, that's it. You just need time for the plays to develop. Time for Lamar Jackson to scan the field and deliver a good pass. Time for the receivers to run their routes. Time for Derrick Henry to get a load of steam and get into his route. If the offensive line can't provide that, then the offense can't score. And if the offense can't score, then there's no chance of the Ravens winning a Super Bowl. I guess my positive spin at this point is this. We really have only one major flaw to fix. At times during the season, there's been more than one. At times, the defense was horrible. Lamar was hurt. Players were missing. Most of our players are back. Lamar is looking as healthy as we've seen him in a while, and he's obviously being able to execute, as we saw today, at a high level, MVP level. 114 passer rating today. The defense is playing elite. Only defense to shut down Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase this year, or in recent memory for that matter. The only thing we still have wrong is we don't have, I see you, King. That's right. We did it. We did it. And Barbara, you are correct. That O-line. That's what we got to fix. That's what we got to fix. If we fix the O-line, listen to me, family. If we fix this O-line, there is no cap on what Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Ali, Keaton Mitchell. There's no cap on how many points these guys can score. We saw a preview of it the very first 2 games of the season, and the O-line was still terrible. Averaging almost 40 points a game. Imagine if the O-line would just average with this offense, and then you pair that up with a defense that is now playing so dominant. This is what we predicted. This is what we expected. I see you, MDT Sports 97 said O-line is trash. Which the garbage can? Yes. You know what? I hate to say that. And I don't want this to come across like I'm personally attacking anybody on that O-line. Okay? Tyler Linderbaum hasn't played the greatest this year, but I think he's got a lot of potential, and I hope we hold on to him and keep him. Ronnie Stanley, obviously former Pro Bowler, but at times Stanley looks lost. I don't know whether his injuries and the attrition of that ankle that's given him problems over the years has made him, I don't know. But what I do know is that Voorhees and Filet of fish. What you guys think about that jingle, for real? Tell the truth. Because, I don't know. I'm hearing all these jingles every time I go anywhere, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a la 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 jingle. And, of course, Kid Darkness helped me out with that. Did you guys listen to it? Anybody? Have you heard that? I know it's going crazy on TikTok right now. Tens of thousands of views. It's like people are making dancing videos with it now. I wish we had something else to make a song about other than how terrible Fa La 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 Lele is. But, hey, sometimes you got to laugh instead of cry. But the O-line is the problem. 77-72 worst. Hey, I see you. I agree. But what are we going to do about it? I didn't notice today. Did Emory Jones get in? Did anybody say? Robinson is a menace. You're right, Co-Air Multimedia said Robinson is a menace. Dude, in the very first quarter. Come here, Joe. Bop. I mean, that's how you hit. 14-yard loss. You want to check it out? Yeah, somebody check out. Did Emory get in the game? Because if he didn't? See, I don't understand it. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a theory. I don't know if Harbaugh is just set on my way or the highway. He's been stubborn to a fault all year long, trying to convince us that the right option is Falele, and that Voorhees is what they believed he was going to be. There reaches a point to where, you do give if you believe in something, you got to give it time. You can't just quit on your belief as soon as you see it not working. But I think we're past that time. Daniel fall down Falele. Oh my. Co-Air Multimedia said Daniel Falele played without any introduction of Emory Jones. Vincent came in for Stanley. Okay. And I'm getting the John is horrible quote. Anybody agree with that? You guys right now, what's your opinion of John? What is Harbs? Now I've said it. You guys heard me say it in other episodes. I believe that John Harbaugh is how do I put this? He's a great culture guy, right? And typically his thing has been rah, make guys feel good, be the feel-good guy. I'm not sure how I've ever felt about John as a play caller. Ever. There was that whole thing when the Ravens won his only touchdown where the locker room rebelled. We all know that story. If you don't, you should go back and watch some of the documentary stuff out there about how that team that really almost quit on the coaching staff. But the players took the lead and really turned that thing around. I haven't seen anything from John Harbaugh that says, man, this guy is man. Get this guy in there. I mean, we're on, 17 years? And if it weren't for Lamar Jackson's super play, MVP level status, all world play over the last 7-8 years, would Harbaugh even still be the head coach? This is a question. I'm just asking. What we got? John is horrible. MTD Sports says, way past time. IRMH 4602. Harbs needs to go. Fala Big Tuna. Fish just. What? Harbaugh is not a coach. He's more of a motivational speaker. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what my feel on John Harbaugh is. And I don't dislike him in that role. However, head coach is head decision maker. And I haven't seen anything from John Harbaugh that says as a decision maker, as the guy that's going to have to decide whether Falalalele is your starting guard or whether you try Emory Jones. I don't know that he's the guy. I look at decisions that he's made, and I'm not saying all his decisions were bad, right? But I'm saying in key situations, right? And when you have a team and you have a window that is open right now, but it's doing this. Championship window. You don't just have Lamar Jackson. You got Derrick Henry. You don't just have Mark Andrews. You got Isaiah Likely. You don't just have Zay Flowers. You got D-Hop. And speaking of D-Hop, about time Monken got him in the game like that. How about that bomb to D-Hop today, right? This is what I've been waiting for. We got all of this. And the only problem we're talking about is a glaring one. And what has John Harbaugh as a decision maker done about our one glaring problem? Honestly, what has he done to affect that problem? Now, maybe we'd feel better if he had done anything. And what do I mean by that? Changed anything. If he had put in Emory Jones and Emory Jones just sucked it up. I mean, just sucked for 2 games straight. Way worse than Falele. If he had done that, I don't think we'd be complaining, would you? Mayday 4596 says, laugh out loud. You guys will miss the playoffs, if not at least a one and done. Mayday, with the O-line we have, I'm not going to argue with you about the possibilities of either one of those. However, I would also say to you this.
Granger knows that if you're
don't
a
be
lineman in charge of
surprised.
keeping the lights on,
What in the world am I hearing right now? Let's cut that off. Okay. I have no idea where that's coming from. See, this is what you do when you're doing a live broadcast. You get some stuff you don't understand is happening. Anybody want to know? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay. It's gone now. Wherever that came from. Ranger got a free sponsorship. We'll do it. He says, nah, you wouldn't. I feel like we have a very unique team. And I say unique because I've never seen a team that is this talented on both sides of the ball that has an Achilles heel as gross as our O-line is. I mean, it's most of the time when you have a team that's suffering in the way the Ravens have lost, it's because, things that are really messed up as far as talent, not having enough talent on one side of the ball or the other. We're loaded on both sides. Loaded. But the offensive line play has just literally crippled an offense that has Pro Bowl level talent all over the place. And that's a John Harbaugh problem. That's an EDC problem. Some people say EDC. Who do you blame more? You blame EDC or you blame John? I think you blame both. Like we talked about last week when people were trying to excuse the referees from that loss we had and just try to blame it all on, bad play by the Ravens. No, you blame everybody who deserves blame. And in this case, EDC and John Harbaugh, both. Barbara said, blows my mind with all that talent, all them names you said. Why are all those guys not being used? It's criminal. Harbs is done, cooked. You are not the only one, Barbara, saying that. IRM said blame both. Yes, you have to. You have to. EDC, he's the guy that's in charge of making sure that you got the talent on the roster to protect your all-pro, all-world, historically great quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Think about this. Lamar pulled a hamstring this year. Ankle injury, right? Toe injury, all these injuries he's had. Let's breathe a sigh of relief, because you know what it could have been? I know what it could have been. Lamar, the way he's been beat up and targeted, no quarterback gets targeted more by a defense than Lamar Jackson. Why? Because he's the greatest. He's the greatest, most athletic, most lethal quarterback in the game. When defenses are preparing to play the Baltimore Ravens, there's not a single defense that doesn't spend hours and hours and hours talking about how to take him out. There's no quarterback who is more targeted with intent than Lamar Jackson. If you know that, and you should if you're EDC, you should know that your quarterback is going to be the most targeted, the most, where guys go to sleep at night dreaming of getting up on Lamar. You got to know that as EDC. And if you know that, and you don't do anything to counter it, to protect that guy, why not? Explain that part to me. What would you do if you owned a franchise or ran a franchise and you had an all-world quarterback? Would you not build a wall around him? What we got here? LJ is the best player in the league. No question. Mad Matt said Joe is going to find another team. A lot of people agreeing with you, Mad Matt. A lot of people believing that's what's going to take place. Joe Burrow, and I got to be honest, I love the game like a lot of you guys do. I love great talent. Of course, I'm partial to the Ravens. I'm biased to the Ravens because unlike Bobby, woo, hey, your boy, I'm with them Ravens. The whole idea of 1Flock, and some people ask about it. You guys know the story behind this? The whole idea behind 1Flock is because Lamar Jackson's been my guy long before you guys knew anything about him, okay? Lamar Jackson, I learned about him, and this is an interesting story. I'll tell it real quick. Lamar Jackson came to the University of Louisville because no one else wanted to allow him to play quarterback in the NCAA. Everybody that was recruiting him as an athlete. They wanted him to play something else. Lamar Jackson and his mom were like, no, quarterback. Well, Bobby Petrino, who was our head coach at Louisville at the time, y'all see the Louisville stuff in the background, the red and purple, that's not coincidence. Lamar Jackson came to the University of Louisville and changed everything. We were struggling offensively. I never forget his sophomore year. We were playing against Auburn in Atlanta. I'm at this game. I bought my tickets online, and I'm sitting, I got the best price I could get, lower level, and I get to the game. I'm decked out, Louisville gear, right? Red. And when I walk to my seat, I'm in the student section for Auburn. I mean, the band's there. It's nothing but orange and blue everywhere. And I'm like, uh-oh. All right, well, we're going to see what happens. We're getting toasted. Our quarterback, I forget who it was at the time, was not doing very well. And Auburn's just running up the score. It's bad. And all of a sudden, I see number 8 coming out on the field. He got in the game. And when I say to you, from that point on, Lamar Jackson put himself on the Heisman reel. What he did in that game, we didn't win. He brought us all the way back. That section that was around me, I got the most evil looks because I'm losing it, right? I'm the one guy. As he's eating into their lead, doing what Lamar does, they couldn't touch him. I mean, it was special. And I'll never forget that moment because right in a key moment where we were pressing with a chance to win the game, the guy in front of me, after Lamar did one of those dazzling LJ8 plays, right? He turns around and looks at me with this expression on his face. He's like, who is that guy? I said, that's Lamar. And man, that was the beginning of a historic season. But that's where this 1Flock comes from. 1Flock comes from one of the best fan bases in all of college. The Louisville Cardinals migrated to the Baltimore Ravens when Lamar Jackson was welcomed to the Ravens. And we're a real fan base. We love hard. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? And I love that about the Ravens fan base because the Ravens fan base is passionate. I mean, passionate. And then I thought it was an interesting thing. We're all birds, Louisville Cardinals, Baltimore Ravens. 1Flock, let's go. Let's go. And for those of you who want to hate, there's people that say, oh, you're just a Lamar fan. No, I'm not. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. Lamar's also a Ravens fan, but he wasn't one, I don't think, until he got there. His mama's a Ravens fan. She wasn't one until he got there. We all have a starting point in our fandom. Mine started when my guy, LJ8, became a Raven. When he became a Raven, I became a Raven. and so did thousands and thousands of Louisville Cardinals. And we're happy to be here. I'm happy you guys are here. Wherever you started as a Ravens fan, we're all celebrating today. Got a comment here. Think about Lamar, what Lamar could do if he had a good O-line. I've seen what he can do with a good O-line, and so have you guys. Man, I appreciate that. IRM H4602 says, love that story. Yeah, I'm a Ravens fan because of 8. 1Flock. 1Flock. That's right. That's right. King Ravens fan chat said, great live, bro. I appreciate you, man. We've been meaning to do this for a while, and it's been a growing thing, and you guys have made it great. It's a good time to jump in here and say thank you again. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been here for the channel, who supported the channel. We just started this year, and what a year it's been. I mean, the growth. We got so many goals, so many things we're going to be doing. I've got in store for you guys. I want to start using some of the plugs I have in terms of getting some really good guests on the show. Of course, the ultimate thing, if I can get Lamar on the show, shout out to Engraven and Wonder Ken show, because they had that interview with Lamar at his restaurant a while back. I really enjoyed that. I love the way this fan base supports the Ravens, and I love the content creators out here. You guys heard me going against, Bobby's take earlier this week about, not blaming the refs. And I did that because that's how I feel. But let's not get confused. I appreciate what Bobby does. Bobby Buffalo, as some people call it. I appreciate what Bobby does as far as bringing Ravens content over on the vault with Sarah. But Sarah, hey, if I could ever get Sarah on the show, would love that, because she's got the passion, right? She got the passion, and she does great breakdowns and critiques. I love both of those things. When you can mesh those two things together, and I hope what you guys get from the show is not just my passion for the sport, but the takes and the analysis that makes sense and allow us to see the game from a different perspective, because that's what we need. Whether we're winning and things are going great, or whether things are bad, which we've seen both this year. Great right now, though. Let's go with the present. Right now, it feels great. 24-0. I didn't see that. I saw the 24. I didn't see the nothing. You guys remember what I predicted for the final score? I said 24-21. I was 21 points off, and I'm happy about that. The Bengals scored nothing. Absolutely nothing. Who's talking bad about Zach Orr right now? I'm not. I never did, by the way. I just said give him patience. A lot of people were ready to get him out of here. I don't know, guys. You might want to give Zach Orr some time. I wouldn't call Zach Orr the worst of Harbaugh's decisions. I would say that falls on an offensive line situation, no question. And this is where we get back to who we blame and what we need to do. What's the L mean? IRM H4602. What's the L mean? He's going to tell us what that means. What was your favorite play from today's game? I appreciate so many plays in this game. Let's talk about the 2 picks. We had a pick 6. I predicted that as well. I don't want to hear nobody talking about it. You can't make this stuff up. I predicted how many points the Ravens would score, and I predicted that one of our touchdowns would be the defense would actually score the ball. Both things happened. How about that pick 6? Cal Van Noy, his presence of mind. He didn't just pick the ball off. Did you see what he did afterwards? And this is veteran, right? He knew he couldn't outrun those guys. So Cal Van Noy immediately looks behind him and sees a safety. Hands that ball off the right way, and the safety. Which, by the way, we want to talk bad about EDC. I got to say, that trade that brought that guy in, that was the EDC trade. Working out. Working out. People were like, why are we getting rid of a defensive end and getting another safety? Kind of worked out. IRM says, sorry, my phone was acting up. So that's what the L meant. Okay. Yeah. Cham City Charles says, hand off like he a quarterback. I never see the defense handoff either. That was new. To me, that might be my favorite play of the whole game. Because that's veteran. That's veteran. That's when I lost it, if you guys want to know. And we might start doing game watches. If all this goes well and there's something you guys want, we might start doing game watches because, man, when stuff happens, look, I might not want to do that, though, because when things are bad, my face says it all. I look like I lost my best friend, my dog, and my house. People look at me when the game's going bad and it's bad. But, man, not today. The first quarter, maybe. First quarter, I looked pretty sad. I was angry. Those first two possessions where we got nothing. Justin Lewis says, what's up, Rob? Love? First time watching you live. Normally, I love watching your videos, man. Justin Lewis, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you because this was a big deal for me getting this live going, and the support on the actual, videos. You guys have been driving the algorithm where it needs to go. I can't thank you guys enough. A lot of people have been asking for the live. I know Deborah had been asking me about it. So many people like, when you going live? When you going live? So today was a big step. This is the first one. We were late. I wanted to be here as soon as the zeros hit, but we had some technical difficulty, but we finally got in here. Patriots next, Cham City says. That's the play of the year. Which one you talking about? You talking about when Cal Van Noy handed off the ball for a pick six? Lamar's 5-0 at Paycor Stadium and 11-2 versus Bengals all-time. Justin Lewis, love that stat. I liked it better if it could have been, 12-1. But we choked up that one last week and then had the referees rob it from us. I'm going to say we're 12-1 in reality, but the refs rewrote it to 11-2. But we're not going to start down that again. That's payback. Pittsburgh next. Yeah, we need to do that. King Raven fan chat says, when you play great offenses, great quarterbacks, and our offense continue to put our defense on the field, the defense will get had quick. So you're saying our offense will continue to put our defense on the field, the defense will get had quick. Well, I hope that our offense doesn't continue to put the defense on the field, because as you've heard me talk about earlier in the year, this was one of the problems. It wasn't that our defense was so bad. A lot of times you would see our defense started off in the first half of the game playing decent. In fact, when the offense was looking terrible, the defense was the only thing keeping us from getting blown out. But then as the game continued and the offense was getting off the, 3 and out, the defense just got tired. They never got to rest. It was like, oh, we got to go out again. 2-minute breather, we're back in. 2-minute breather, we're back. No defense can survive that. Which is why, again, brings me back to the O-line. Why was our offense so bad? The O-line. I wish there was a way, right? That just for one game, I could pull some offensive linemen out of thin air that were decent, not even great, and put them in the game instead of Falele and Voorhees. And the world would see what you and I already know. The Ravens would crush whoever they were playing. I don't care who you put in that game. I don't care who the opponent is. I know it for a fact. What we got here? What we got? Man, comments are rolling in fast here. Cham City says, go. Justin Lewis says, since 10-14-18, when we beat Tennessee Titans 21-0, that's the first one. Oh, wow. Go defense, go Ravens, shutout. IRM H4602 says, original pick was 24-14 Ravens, so I got the Ravens score correct. So did I. Good job, man. Favorite plays, Ali touchdown and the pick six. Love the live and watching your videos. I appreciate you, family. Appreciate you. Cham City says, beast in the run game. Yeah, absolutely. The run game was back today. We talked about that a little bit. Lamar averaged 13 yards a carry. Derrick Henry averaged 9. When's the last time we saw that? And that's in spite of them stuffing him as much as they did in the first quarter. But we got some good runs coming after that. Justin Lewis says, we can beat Patriots next Sunday night. Hopefully Steelers can lose to Miami, Lions, and Browns, and that's how we can win our division. I believe not only can we beat the Patriots, I think we will. And we'll talk more about that. I'm going to have a breakdown episode later this week that really, where I bring out some things that I'm looking at that make me believe we can definitely beat the Patriots. Now, all that being said, I believe we should beat the Patriots, but we have an X factor against us called the O-line. If the O-line comes out and plays their worst game of the season, we're not beating anybody. Anybody. Doesn't matter. In fact, my biggest fear every game is this the game that EDC, John Harbaugh, Falele, and Voorhees cost us our quarterback? And I'm serious. I'm serious. This is because I know and you know what that means. If we lose Lamar because our O-line doesn't exist, what's that do for you? I know what it does for me. I know what it does for this team. It nails the coffin closed. That's what it does. What we got here? Sorry for Patriots run defense. Patriots defense too small. I agree with you, Champ City. I definitely agree with you. And that's one of the things that we'll be talking about in there. I think Derrick Henry is going to feast in that game. It was good to see Keaton Mitchell back out there today too, right? Keaton Mitchell, I was worried about him when he got that knee injury. Our running room is nice. Ali, we saw what he did today. We got the weapons. You know, other teams may say we're crazy to sit up here and think we might be able to do something. We have everything we need but an O-line. I guess what I'm hoping for more than anything is inspired play. Because this late in the season, you're not getting anybody from the trade. You know, we have who we have. But I don't know. We got our favorite plays from the game. I think I agree. The pick six was definitely my favorite. It just it was so unexpected to see Kyle Van Noy just hand the ball off like that. But with this Patriots game coming up, if we win that one, okay, then we got Green Bay at Green Bay. Did it make you feel better to see the Ravens play good in a cold game? It made me feel better. Because I can't remember a game where it was really cold that we actually didn't lose, first of all. And secondly, looked good. And you know it's going to be cold in Lambeau. Anybody ever been up there before? In the winter? I will tell you right now. I love live games. You know, I go to as many Louisville games as I can. Season ticket holder for Louisville games. I haven't been a chance to make it back to Baltimore. I used to live in Maryland. I lived in Greenbelt. You guys know where that is? For those of you who actually, I lived in Greenbelt, just outside D.C. I was about 45 minutes from Baltimore and used to go down there all the time and perform and do all sorts of things. But if I lived in Baltimore, I'd be at games all the time. Next season, I expect to do a live from Baltimore at one of the games. This is something, we got so many things on the scope that we're going to be building the channel to. And for those of you who have been supporting by viewing, we appreciate you. Of course, the biggest way you can support the channel. Now the super chats are open, and we always are looking for things we can do to make the show better. If you can super chat, that's great. That's really the number one reason that we made that thing live, is because to do some of these goals we want to do, you know what it takes. It takes that kind of support, and you guys as a fan base do great at that. So we appreciate you. The biggest support, though, is not even that. The biggest support is being here, and you guys being here. I can't thank you for that enough. So we're going to keep it rolling. Justin Lewis says, we can beat Packers too. That will be first time Lamar and Jordan love clash. I got Lamar defeated his 2019 expect Bears and Ravens. Woo! We light from 1-5? That's right, champ. Alpha 2301 says, love the show. Love that support, brother. Love that support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are absolutely in a situation right now where as we grow as 1Flock, and 1Flock, the real power comes from you. The real power comes from you. Let me put it up and we can see it. You see that one right there, 1Flock. We flying. We flying. Yeah, we started 1-5. But then we went 5-1 and got back to 500. We're back to 500 right now, and that's big. We're 7-7 right now. 7-7. In fact, I wish I had a 7-Up right now because that's what it is. It's tied up at 7s. Anybody still drink 7-Up? You know, Sprite and 7-Up used to go head to head, and then 7-Up just disappeared. I liked 7-Up because it was a little bit more, you know, it was a little bit more sweet. You know, Sprite's more like a, I don't know. Sprite's cool. I like Sprite, but 7-Up had more of that lemony flavor. You know what I'm talking about? Any 7-Up fans out there? We can beat any time if the O-line coaching and play calling can get better. Yes, and you saw today, the O-line held some plays, and I don't want to pretend like, you know, Falele sucks every snap. I've seen him do some plays where he actually executed, but a lot of time, his execution and his response to the play are just lost. You know, he's running in a direction and there's nobody even there. Or when he gets a hold of a guy, he's grabbing outside and you have no leverage there. Technique is you get inside where you can control and drive a guy. Falele too many times doesn't do that. Barbara says, definitely that pick six, my number one. Bubble like Sprite. We bubble like Sprite. Right? We bubble like Sprite. Yeah, we on the bubble, man. We on the bubble, for sure. I wish we weren't. I wish it was a much more certain thing right now. Lamar, 30th team he's defeated except us and the Bears. If we beat Green Bay, you're right. And I'm going to take that back. Not if we beat Green Bay. When we beat Green Bay, you're right. We beating Green Bay. I feel sorry for the Boston wide receivers. Especially the way this defense is playing. Who knew Awuzie would play as well as he's playing? I didn't. Man. You know, and this is why, you know, EDC, I don't blame him as much as Harbs. And the reason I say that is because every great leader makes great mistakes at some point during their tenure. I think for EDC, this may be his. And the reason I say that is because there's so much good about this team that we loved that EDC is also responsible for. EDC is responsible for bringing Derrick Henry to Lamar Jackson. Who didn't love that? I loved it. I was calling for that before it happened. EDC made it happen. EDC. Isaiah Likely, the draft pick. Tyler Linderbaum, the draft pick. Zay Flowers, the draft pick. I mean, you're not going to hit everything. Bringing DeAndre Hopkins on the low. EDC's done a lot of good. I can't talk about EDC like I do Harbs. I know some people are done with both. I think EDC has made a great mistake. I think the great mistake that he made is not addressing the O-line. But I can't just say this dude's been a chump. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I can't. You don't get the number one offense and the type of defense personnel-wise that we have without EDC doing a bang-up job. Bang-up job. Now, we can all look at the misses and see what he missed. He's missed. And the O-line's a huge miss, and it's costing us right now. But that's a mistake, right? Nobody perfect. EDC not perfect. Harbaugh, on the other hand, I'm trying to see the great value that Harbaugh is bringing. And I don't see it. I don't see Harbaugh doing anything that is like, wow, right? I can point to several things that EDC has done for this team and be like, wow. But Harbaugh, there's too many instances where Harbaugh has been the decision maker and the key point of it's either going to work or it's not going to work, and Harbaugh has been the problem. Too many of those instances. And so, including, okay, EDC made a mistake and brought in this Falele guy and didn't get many pieces that were better, but the head coach isn't bringing accountability to the position. Falele, if you stink that bad, I don't care who comes in on the next play. Somebody else is coming in. Sit your behind down. You're not just entitled to starting on the Baltimore Ravens. You either produce or you sit your behind down, because I don't see much difference between the production when you're on the field than what I would expect from you if you were sitting off the field. You see what I'm talking about? That type of accountability I don't see from Harbs. And that's why, you know, I give more blame to Harbaugh than I do EDC. Somebody else said, I remember 7-Up. 7-Up is a Midwest favorite. That's right. Originally from Ohio. I see you. Defense was hitting hard. What, NATO? Marlon Humphrey getting another pick? Come on back, Marlon. I see you, big guy. A lot of Tigers went down today. Good defense. Yes, they did. Derrick Henry himself. I said it. This is another one I got right in the pregame. Hope you guys watched the pregame episode and enjoyed that one. I had fun putting that together. Even though I was nervous about the outcome of this game. Derrick Henry. Nobody wants to be getting hit by that dude when it's cold. I don't care what you guys say. I worked outside for years. And I can tell you, when it's cold, I mean, the slightest bink hurts. Everything gets more brittle. At least it feels that way. And apparently it is that way because Derrick Henry was taking guys out today. We not losing. We back. I'm with you, big dog. Let's go. Let's go. Love it when it get cold. The running game gets crazy. It does. It does. And a lot of people don't understand the physics of why the ball flies differently the colder the air temperature gets, but that's true. Even the football itself, the feel of the football, as the air gets colder, right? And I'm not going to turn this into a science class, but I love science. But the molecules start contracting. Everything's different when it's that cold. Justin says Ravens are now 7-8 all time when it's frigid. Did not know that. That's a great stat. Appreciate you sharing that. So we traditionally lose more than we win when it's cold. But we can change that in Lambeau. Lambeau this year, we can become 8-8 because I promise you it's going to be cold. It's going to be frigid in Lambeau. Another place I used to live was Chicago, which is not that far from Michigan, right on the lake. That lake, that when that Arctic air comes across that lake, I don't know how people that live up there do it. I'm telling you, I don't like the cold, okay? I've lived in several places. Chicago, I love the city, but it's my favorite city, actually, in the country. No lie. Great food. I'm a foodie. Love to eat. Man, some of the best food you ever want to eat. 2 places, Chicago, Louisville, Kentucky. Those 2 places, every year winning all kind of awards for the food scene. But Chicago, man, it's all authentic. Anything you want. It's like going on a tour of the world and eating any type of cuisine you want. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the weather. Because you get 3 months of warm weather in Chicago. You get 3 months. But once it gets cold, I mean, you can snow all the way up until June. But go to the other side of that lake, Wisconsin, Michigan. Hey, it's ugly. It's ugly. Wisconsin, that side of the lake, way colder. I don't know how it is. I don't know whether it's the way the air hits when it's coming across from Canada, but it's going to be cold in Lambeau. Freezing. Sham City says, East Side Baltimore, I love the weather. All right. Justin said, we have played our best football, becomes cold conditions. Well, I hope that happens this time. I hope that happens this time because picture this. If the Ravens enter the playoffs on a winning streak that starts with blanking the Bengals, beating the Patriots, beating the Packers at Green Bay, and then topping it all off with smacking them Steelers down. If that's your 4-game winning streak, woo! Now, I haven't looked ahead to see what potentially in that situation our seeding would be and where we would be playing and who we potentially might be playing in the first round. Or in that case, it'd probably be a wild card game. But at that point, I'm feeling pretty good. Because if you've won twice in cold conditions, then even if you end up playing, say, against a Josh Allen again in Buffalo, I'm not feeling as nervous about that. Having seen 2 cold weather, frigid victories in the last month. Champ City said on the next flight to Boston, get on up there, big dog. Get on up there. I'm trying to tell you right now, this is just, it's a better feeling when you see a team go out and execute like the team did today. Now, erase that first quarter, right? Erase that first quarter because the first quarter wasn't good for the defense or the offense. Anytime you allow the other team to have the ball for 2/3 of the quarter, I want to say that the first drive for the Bengals was over 8.5 minutes. Their second drive was like another 3 minutes or so. That's 2/3 of the quarter. The quarter's only 15 minutes. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. The defense did not play well in the first quarter. Aside from that sack by Tavius Robinson. That sack, man. Oh, that was a game changer. Game changer, man. Tavius is a beast. I love it. What is this? Want Texas. Texans, I want you. What we talk? Oh, you talking about Houston? What are you talking about? Champ City, what are you talking about? So, congratulations on the win, guys. Appreciate all of you guys being here. This is our first ever live. I don't even know how long we've been on right now. How long have we been on? Anybody know? I can't tell on this end. My live specs are not good. I know when I first started it, this is crazy. When I first started the live, I'm just talking away. I'm talking away. And then I realized my mic was muted. Good job, Rob. A wild card round versus the Texans. I got you. Yeah. Okay, got you. Man, wouldn't that be great payback? Great payback. Because the Texans, we traditionally own them. But they, put it to us. I did an interesting comparison between our defenses as they're playing right now and the comparison that I did, and you guys probably saw this in the episode that I was talking about this on, was the 2 defenses that have held the Los Angeles Rams, who have been a dominant offense all year long. I mean, those guys got Puka and Devontae Adams and what Stafford's been doing. Only 2 defenses have shut down that prolific offense. And those 2 defenses are the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. That's it. Only one team, one defense has blanked the Bengals, Baltimore Ravens. You see what I'm talking about? You see why I am no longer concerned about the defense. Are you? Any of you guys? Y'all concerned about the defense? I'm not. I have one concern. Offensive line. We'll see what Harbaugh has to say about any plans with the offensive line. They did the Ray Lewis dance. Yeah, they did. Yeah, the Texans did do that. Yeah. So, if we can get them in the playoffs, I agree with you 100%. If we can take the Texans out in the playoffs, that'll be a good – that's the way you pay teams back. You know what's made me mad is we've been on the wrong side of that in years past. Like last year, we destroyed the Bills in the regular season, and then we allowed them to eliminate us in the playoffs. I'm tired of being on the wrong side of that. It's time for the Ravens to be on the right side of history. We have the greatest player in the league right now with Lamar Jackson. And it would be great if the Baltimore Ravens did what a good franchise, a great franchise must do. And that's capitalize on having an all-time talent. Got to capitalize on it. Everybody keeps talking about they want to blame Lamar and eyeball Lamar and look at Lamar and be like, oh, well, he underachieves. Well, wouldn't you? Name one quarterback. One. That has thrived with the decrepit, putrid offensive line like Lamar's had to deal with all year. You won't find one. Understand this, Lamar's the most elusive quarterback in the history of the game, and he's getting sacked like crazy. It's like he's lining up, not under center. It's like he's lining up under the defense. Like he's just lining up, and then guys are just standing in front of him saying, okay, count to 4, we're going to hit you. That doesn't work. It doesn't matter. If you put 2 guards out there and neither one of them guard, don't touch anybody. Players go right past them to the quarterback. Justin says, I'm tired of being on the wrong side of history. I love to be on the right side of history. Rob Love, man, I appreciate you, big dog. We got to capitalize on the talent. We got to do it, guys. It's long past due. I'm going to look at this game again. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go into it and see what specifically went right, what specifically went wrong. And then, of course, you can expect another episode coming out here in the next couple of days. We eventually are going to put a live show in the middle of the week. We'll schedule that. We'll figure out what's good. I don't want to necessarily put it in a time where it's not going to be a good time for the fan base or where there's already a lot of other stuff going on. I'd really like to nail something down where we can have something to sit down, talk about it as one flock, and really break down whatever we want to break down. You know, talk about it. You know, some things I wanted to talk about this week that didn't even necessarily involve the Ravens. Anybody hear about what's going on with TJ Watt? That was crazy, right? You guys hear about that? And it affects the Pittsburgh game we're playing because we know Watt is one of the guys I'm always worried about hitting Lamar. But I don't know if Watt's going to be anything to worry about in this game. Dude got his lung punctured. When I first heard that, I thought it came from, you know, getting hit hard in a game and maybe a rib. Because a lot of times, you know, ribs can do that if you have a strong impact. But it was doing dry pin therapy. Now, I've had dry pin therapy before. If you're any type of athlete, you probably have had to have it at some point, if I could talk. This brother was getting dry pin therapy, and they punctured his lung. Crazy. We must capitalize on Lamar's talent. Yep. IRM says, Champ City says he's still beating teams with a bad lineup. Yes, he is. 2 Matadors. Paying Mark Andrews $39 million for 1 catch per game is diabolical, Champ City says. Well, I still don't understand that decision. And now the reports say that Isaiah Likely had a price that the Ravens couldn't come to terms with. I don't know what that price was. And if it was too high, then it was too high. So apparently what led to the Andrews signing was they didn't want to lose potentially both of them. So Andrews becomes, I believe at this point, the 4th highest paid tight end out there. I'm not sure that Andrews at this point in his career is still top 4 money. But, you know, I don't know. Getting Jones, though, on the deal we got him for, that was a great move. Great move. Jones has been in almost every category for an interior lineman, top 10, top 13 when he's on the field. And I want to say that we got him for like top 26 money. That's awesome, especially with Matabike being gone. The fact that we locked down Jones and got a bargain for, I believe he's an ascending player. So he's already top 10, top 13-ish. We paid 26 out of 32. Out of 32 teams, he's the 26th highest paid. That's a deal. That he won by getting his money. We won by getting him for the low. Andrews is Lamar's best receiver in the league right now. He is a favorite to Lamar. Mark Andrews is the favorite to Lamar Jackson. That's what Christina says. You know what? I do believe that he's a favorite. And Lamar may have had something to do with making sure Andrews stays, right? They came in together. You know, Lamar might be Andrews, 1Flock. We fly together, huh? That might be it. And, you know, and you could do a lot worse than Mark Andrews, okay? I know I was mad at him as anybody in the playoffs last year when he bounces the ball off his sternum, belly button. I don't know. I still am, honestly, if I want to be honest about it. But Andrews is not a bad player. He's had too many bad moments for me in the playoffs. Can he fix that? I guess we'll see. Hopefully we'll see this year. He's got a contract, so we're going to have the opportunity to see, that's for sure. Jones signing was love. Yes, it was. Going to redeem himself against the Patriots. I guess you're talking about Andrews. Is that who you're talking about in Jam City? We'll see. We'll see. You guys got some ideas of some special things you want to do on the show for fun, whatever, blase blah. Make sure you throw those in the comments. Let me know. This was our very first one. For those of you who showed up, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the beginning. I know there's only 3 regular season games left, so we'll have time to get a couple post-game shows in. We will be planning and figuring out when we want to do during the week a live where we can get on and talk about it. If you guys got a preferential time, you want to do it in the mornings, if you want to do it in the evenings, let me know. We'll talk about it. Again, this is all about us. It's all about the flock. Family, I mean it. Thank you so much for your support. Please continue to spread the word. Let people know we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're getting better. For those of you who chose the super chat, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a lot to do, and we ain't got nothing but time. So let's get it done, right? Let's get it done. Next week, we got Patriots up. Post-game, we'll be doing it right here again. So look forward to seeing all you guys again. The next episode that's coming up, we're going to break down, like I said, what happened in the game today and also what we can expect and some of the other big news stories that I think we need to talk about. And just, I don't know. Thank you for being here. This has been great. Glad we got the first one off. But pop my cherry. First live show done. Shout out to all the other great Ravens online creators out there. I enjoy watching them. I appreciate them being here. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to be right here, right now. Thank you again. For 1Flock, the very first post-game live, I'm your host, Rob Love, saying, you know my words. Thanks for flying with the brother. We'll see you back next time. Let's go Ravens. Let's go Ravens. 4-game winning streak. Time to go. Time to go. Let's go.